What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Flame Swordsman deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely nostalgic deck that we just got an amazing new card for. Dark Flare Swordsman. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Dark Flare Swordsman. This card is an amazing 3 of in the build that helps out the deck so much, with the ability to take no battle damage from battles involving this card. You can also send a Flame Swordsman, or a monster that mentions it, from your extract to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest turn, except with warrior monsters, which is totally fine, because that's usually all we're attacking with anyways. But this card is incredible to help you send your copy of your Fighting Flame Dragon from your extract to the graveyard to instantly bring this card out. So you can equip your copy of Fighting Flame Dragon to one of your other Flame Swordsman monsters later on in the turn. This card also has the ability to quick effect tribute this card to special summon one monster that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck except a level 6 monster, which is such a powerful effect. So we have some really cool targets in the deck to instantly bring out using this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Fighting Flame Swordsman. Fighting Flame Swordsman is one of the best targets to summon off your copy of Dark Flare Swordsman, which would actually make both of these cards 1-card combos in the deck, because your copy of Dark Flare Swordsman will bring out Fighting Flame Swordsman, and then Fighting Flame Swordsman will go full combo, which is insane. As this card is the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a spell or trap card that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck to your hand, which is usually going to be your copy of Flame Swords Realm. This card also has the ability, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can actually send a Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it from the deck or the extract to the graveyard, except another copy of this card, which the card we're usually sending to the graveyard is our copy of Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragon. This card is awesome to be able to send to the graveyard, and is also an equip card with the ability that while this card is equipped to a Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it, the equipped monster gains 700 attack points. And if it's in the hand or the graveyard, you can target a warrior monster you control and equip this card to that monster as an equipped spell. And if it's sent to the graveyard, you can actually add a Salamandra spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to either grab your copy of Salamandra Fusion to step into Ultimate Flame Swordsman, or grab a copy of Salamandra with Chain to be able to use it as a Book of Moon, which is so cool. We then also play a single copy of Mirage Swordsman. Mirage Swordsman is definitely a one-of in the build now, especially with our copy of Dark Flare Swordsman. Plus, it's so cool to play these cards together because Dark Flare Swordsman is based on Dark Flare Knight, and Mirage Swordsman is based on Mirage Knight, and the two cards actually work together in their old school forms, and they work together so well now, which is so cool and nostalgic. But this card helps you out a lot in the grind game with the ability that if a face-up Fire Fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon this card from the graveyard or from your hand. And at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy both battling monsters, and if this card is destroyed by battle or another card's effect, you can actually special summon a level 7 or lower monster that is a Flame Swordsman or mentions it from the deck or the extract, which is a great ability to instantly bring out another card to your side of the field, helping you with the grind game. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda is really good as a one-of in the build to help us get to our copy of Fighting Flame Swordsman. We then play 2 copies of Salamandra Fusion. Salamandra Fusion helps out a lot in this deck to instantly help us get to our copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman, with the ability that you can actually equip only to a Fire Warrior monster and it gains 700 attack points. And if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy this card instead. Also, while this card is equipped to a fusion monster, usually the the original Flame Swordsman that you control, you can send this card and the equipped monster to the graveyard, and if you do special summon a Flame Swordsman or a fusion monster that mentions it from your X deck, which is usually going to be your copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman, and it does count as a fusion summon. We then play 2 copies of Flame Swords Realm. I really like playing 2 copies of this card in the deck just in case one gets destroyed. We have a backup that we can get to so we can still go full combo. But this card is a really cool ability that your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal summon a Fire Warrior monster. Also, once per turn, you can actually send a monster from your hand or face from field to the graveyard to special summon a Flame Swordsman from your axe deck, and it is treated as a fusion summon. Which card you usually sending to the graveyard is your copy of your Fighting Flame Swordsman. If you guys would like to check out the 3 combos that you need to know to play Flame Swordsman, I do have that video on the channel, so definitely check that out to learn all the combo lines of this deck. But this card also has a really cool effect that once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can actually target a warrior monster that you control, and until the end of this turn, it loses exactly 1,000 attack, but all other monsters you control gain 1,000 attack, making it super easy to OTK your opponent. We then play 3 copies of Fighting Flame Sword. This card is basically 3 copies of Rhoda in the deck with the ability with 3 really cool effects to let you add a card from your deck to your hand that mentions Flame Swordsman, except another copy of this card, or when an attack is declared involving a Fire Warrior monster you control, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it, or when your opponent activates a card effect that targets a Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it that you control, negate that effect, and you'll activate 1 of this card per turn. But this card is amazing as a 3-of in the build. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with 2 copies of Salamandra with Chain. Salamandra with Chain is definitely a 2-0 in the build because this card is basically a Book of Moon and an equip card all at once. Letting you target a fire monster on the field and equip this card to it and give it an additional 700 attack points. Then you can change 1 effect monster on the field to face down defense position. You can also banish this card in the graveyard to be able to fusion summon a Fire Warrior or a Dragon Fusion monster from your X deck by shuffling its materials from the hand, field, and or graveyard into the deck, but destroyed during the end phase, which is a pretty cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Soul of the Supreme King. This card is great to actually help us bring out our copy of Zark to our side of the field, which is a really cool alternative boss monster that you can easily bring out in this deck, and this card is so cool in this build. We then play 3 copies of Flame Sword Dance. Flame Sword Dance is great in this build because if a monster is special summoned, it has a really cool ability to let you special summon a level 7 or lower fusion monster from the extract that is a Flame Swordsman or mentions it. Then you can choose a face up monster on the field and actually change it to face down defense position. It's a pretty cool effect to actually use with your copy of Zark to flip it face down so it'll forget that its effect is negated and will actually destroy all your opponent's monsters, which is actually insane. This card also has the ability during your opponent's battle phase, you can banish this card in the graveyard, tribute a face down defense position monster, and then special summon a Flame Swordsman or monster that mentions it from your deck or your X deck, which is a pretty cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Karma Cannon. Karma Cannon is great as a 3-of in the build to basically just use this card to flip every monster on the field to face down defense position, and if either player controls a face up monster, they must send all face up monsters they control to the graveyard. And the funny thing about this card is it actually affects the player, so it will actually out towers like boss monsters that are unaffected by everything because it makes the player send them to the graveyard, making this card absolutely broken. We then play 3 copies of Trap Trick. Trap Trick is great as a 3-of in the build just to get us to the exact trap card that we need. By banishing a card with the exact same name from the deck, we can actually set a trap card from our deck to our side of the field, which is a great ability to instantly set a card to our side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is a great 3-of in the build just to stop our opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. We then play 3 copies of Dominus Impulse. Dominus Impulse is great as a 3-of in the build because this deck really just plays fire monsters. It's really good in this build just to block your opponent's special summons, and it's just a really cool card overall. We then play 3 copies of Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is great, basically just to say no to your opponent, as when a monster would be special summoned or a monster effect is activated, you pay 1500 life points to negate the summoner activation. If you do, destroy that card, which is such a powerful effect just to protect your plays and stop your opponent in their tracks. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with 2 copies of Ultimate Flame Swordsman. This card is a great 2-of in the build that can easily OTK your opponent, as this card has the ability that you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it if you inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent, and it's a quick effect if this card is equipped with an equipped card. And also at the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can actually double this card's attack until the end of the turn, but if you do, destroy it during the end phase of this turn, making it absolutely massive, just to help you swing in for game. We then play 2 copies of the original Flame Swordsman. 2 copies is really all you need in this deck now because it's so easy to get to. It's just a really cool combo piece in this deck. We then play 2 copies of Fighting Flame Dragon. Fighting Flame Dragon is absolutely amazing to be able to send to the graveyard off your copy of your Dark Flare Swordsman, with the ability that this card has the effect that except during the damage step quick effect, you can target a warrior fusion monster you control and equip this card from your field or your graveyard to that monster that you control as an equipped spell, which is a great ability to instantly equip it to your copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman because it has the ability that the monster equipped with this card gains 700 attack and can make a second attack during each battle phase, which is a crazy powerful effect when you think about doubling the attack points of your Ultimate Flame Swordsman to go in for game and be able to swing twice. We then play a single copy of Supreme King Zark. This card is super easy to summon off your copy of Soul of the Supreme King. And this card is so cool to be able to summon because when this card is summoned out to your side of the field, destroy all cards your opponent controls, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use in this deck, especially when you flip it face down on your side of the field, where forget that Soul of the Supreme King actually negates its effect and it will actually go off, which is actually insane to be able to do. We then play a single copy of Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon is great to summon out the effect of Soul of the Supreme King. We then play a single copy of Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. These cards are just really good to summon off your effect of your Soul of the Supreme King, and are basically just our really good targets to be able to summon just in case we need to. We then play a single copy of Typhon. Typhon is great as a 1-of in the build to basically just use this card as a skill drain for 3,000 attack point monsters and a bounce. We then see a copy of the Bestower of Flames. Bestower of Flames is basically a monster reborn in this deck and just helps out a lot overall in this build. We then play a single copy of the Fire Charmer. Fire Charmer is great in this deck just to help us basically link climb in this build, and it's a really cool card to be able to summon. We then play a single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is awesome in this deck to basically just use this card as a double interruption just in case we need to. And play a single copy of the Furious Flame Swordsman. This card is super handy in the deck and just super cool to play in a Flame Swordsman deck. So it makes it so all warrior monsters on the field gain 500 attack points, and if this linked summon card is destroyed battle by an opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's monster zone, you can target a non-link warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field, which is a pretty cool effect to be able to use. We then play a single copy of Salamangreat Alamirage. Alamirage is great just in case we open up a copy of the Salamandra monster to be able to just summon it out to our side of the field and link it away, just in case you need to, that it's a really good option in this deck. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Flame Swordsman deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try and definitely check out the 3 combos that you need to know to play this deck, which is super fun to be able to check out, and it's definitely going to help you guys learn Flame Swordsman, and it's just so helpful. So, that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So, guys.